Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Tougies Take podcast. We are back again for our second show of the week, and what is bound to be one of our shortest shows ever, because nothing has happened, really, in the past few days. It's a bit of a shame. We have hit that weird kind of middle ground in the hockey schedule before the All-Star break, where it's just kind of boring because you wait to see what teams aren't going to be able to turn it around, which means we're just kind of waiting for the trade deadline, which is still like a month and a half away.
Oh, is it that long away? Holy shit.
I think so.
I thought it was in like
see.
February, but yeah, I guess it is.
NHL trade deadline is March 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
March 3rd. So that is a long time. We have hit the doldrums of the season where it's like, well, do we talk about how this team probably won't make the playoffs? Oh, wait, we already did that. So, yeah, not too much has happened, really. We could sit there and speculate about the deadline, but what was it? It was last week, right, that we talked about what teams are likely to buy, what teams are likely to sell. So I'm intrigued to see just how long this show ends up being. I don't expect it to be the longest show in the world. That said, I'm happy to say we have Endo Mills here today. We were able to drag him away from opening hut packs like an absolute lord on his own stream.
I'm doing it, but like without any of the viewers or any of the ego that a lot of people have, you know.
And without the bankroll.
Oh yeah, fuck no, man. I could never do that. You think I'm gonna invest that much in the NHL? Jesus Christ, you must be sorely mistaken.
At a certain point, I'm sure it's worth it. But, yeah.
Is it really, though?
Who's to say? Who's to say? And then Sin is here, able to pull him away from the sports gamer-related treadmill they have him on, just working our boy to death. But he's here, and I hope he's doing well. Sin, are you doing well?
I'm doing pretty good.
Glad to hear it. And I am here from my sports gamer related elliptical. It's not quite a treadmill. I'm not quite at the same pace, but they're still working us pretty hard.
Hamster wheel. I think that's more appropriate.
That'd be a pretty damn big hamster wheel, to be honest.
I want a life-size hamster ball.
Okay, but where would you use it?
That's just the Zorb ball. That's all it is.
I don't know, like at a park.
I was going to say, you couldn't use it in your house.
All get in hamster balls and run into each other.
Yeah, it's a Zorb. Okay. It's a Zorb ball.
And get
DORB.
And then get really sick as we bounce around and
The dream. I don't know.
It's only $600 on Alibaba, so get one of those.
I forgot that Alibaba existed. The only time I ever paid attention was when I was fucking trading it during the pandemic. It was doing real good for a minute.
Ooh, so shout out to Zorbs.us, home of the Zorb ball.
Zorbus.
Not a sponsor. But $600 for one of these things.
Yeah.
Jesus, why?
Holy shit. Oh my god. Well, hey. One of these days, maybe. Who's to say? That's the dream. What the hell type of purchase.
It's spherical as well. I love that. Zorbane.
You know what else is spherical? Funny enough. It's a lovely product from our sponsor. Of course, as always, that would be our friends at manscaped.com, where you can go to said website and use code Tougie, Tougie, for 20% off your order and free shipping to get yourself some lovely cylindrical deodorant, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, and maybe, just maybe, next week, we'll have news for you about a brand new product launching very, very soon from our friends at Manscaped. Keep an eye out, keep an ear out and open. Keep those ears out and open, receptive to what we're telling you here. The news from our friends at Manscaped. So yeah, we thank them, of course, as always, for sponsoring the show and this viewer questions segment as well, as we move ahead with Again, what might be the shortest podcast we'll ever have of all time. The first question comes from BBG. Who is buying the hellhole known as WWE? Now,
Is that Big Brownie?
that is
Jerome.
the Fork Master General.
I was gonna
himself.
say, I thought the question was who's buying my fork, and I'm like, not me.
Oh, just smashing tables like the true wrestling fan that he is. So yeah, funny enough, I also have a wrestling podcast, as I mentioned a few times, at 2ND Turnbuckle on Twitter with good friend of the show, Mr. Crash Andrews. So that'll be where you get more relevant wrestling-related talk out of me, at least, because I don't know if either of these two pay attention, have ever paid attention, care to pay attention, but
No.
yeah, essentially the WWE is likely to be sold. There was a gigantic power trip a la a show like Succession, except in real life. It's a hilarious shit show to watch. Not their on-screen product, but everything else about it is beautiful. And I don't know. We'll see if the answer ends up being the Saudi Arabian whitewashing campaign, which was rumored to be the case the other day, and Twitter went fucking crazy.
They already got into golf, fuckers.
They got into Live Golf. They bought
Hate it.
Newcastle United, at least an 80% controlling stake.
They took Phil Mickelson from me. That's okay, because it showed me what that fucker's all about, so.
It took you that long?
You don't even know who Phil Mickelson is.
Yeah, he's a white golfer. That's like 99.9% of golfers. All I care about is my Tiger Woods. Name me a random white golfer. Fucking Rory McIlroy. Fucking that big fat guy that OGs is like a spirit animal for. Who's that big
John
fat guy?
Daly.
Yeah, John Daly.
I hate that guy too. He's so obnoxious.
Yeah. Oh, the pride of Canada. What's his fucking name? He won a master. Like everyone's like, how the fuck did you win a master?
Masters.
Mike Weir, the Canadian legend. There you go.
Hey, you know some names.
Yeah.
You might know more golfers than I do. So there you go.
I know so many. It's actually, it would be embarrassing if I didn't enjoy watching it so much. Can't play, but I love watching it. I can putt pretty well. I've never driven or anything though.
I got to play this summer
lucky
for the first time, and probably the upcoming summer I will be. The local club offers the couples package to have it be just a little bit cheaper. So I'm gonna be golfing like a son of a bitch this summer.
Do it, man. I got all my cousins live on a fucking golf course. I just need to mooch off of them. And now, well, my cousin's husband actually has club membership now, so I can actually fucking play. So I'm gonna get on his case to let me come out with him.
It's fun, man.
I have to find some clubs though, because he's a lefty. So his clubs are all lefty.
I certainly discovered that proper club height and length or whatever is incredibly important, as you would suspect. I rented clubs and they were a little bit too short. So
yeah, you're gonna need. I think for me, like all the irons you use would be long irons for me. You tall fuck. Your fucking wedge would be like a 3-iron for me.
And at the very least, I mean, you can choose to walk or take the golf cart. And let me tell you, trying to scare the hell out of your significant other while driving a golf cart, the best entertainment you could possibly have.
Yeah, you got to spray paint Narkill on it.
And just drive it over a little
jump
hill
over bumper. You got to jump over bunkers.
Oh God! Now I can't possibly move off of this golf conversation other than by saying I looked up the Live Golf roster. That does include Phil Mickelson.
Yep.
And my new favorite golfer is Taylor Gooch.
Boy.
Talor.
Yeah.
Taylor Gooch.
Tailor-made Taylor Gooch.
The pride of Oklahoma. He and Jim Ross.
Of course, he'd be a fucking Oklahoma.
I will also say there is a dude from Sugar Grove, North Carolina, named Turk Pettit.
I actually don't know that.
Pettit.
Yeah.
Live Golf, the WHL of golf.
Not even, man. They're like the fucking. I don't even know what a comparison would be to a hockey league. What's
Solely
hockey
in
league's
terms
all
of
about
names.
money. You know, no, they're like the Trump football league of of
Yes.
golf.
Oh yeah, it's all about the money for that. But I'm just saying, in
Yeah.
terms of funny name quality.
Apparently the contract to get Phil Mickelson, they gave him like $200 million up front to fucking change banners. And again, I think his lawyers were actually involved in writing some of the bylaws for the league itself, which was like a weird contradiction of his quote about how much Saudi Arabians are scary motherfuckers. Anyway, golf
So who's gonna
podcast.
buy the WWE?
Phil Mickelson's
Phil
gonna
Mickelson.
buy it with his $200 million from the Saudis.
Single-handedly. Oh
So
my God.
technically, oil money is involved.
Oh God, who needs morals when you can be given multi-generational wealth and buy a wrestling company?
And here comes Randy Orton with the RKO.
Golf commentary for wrestling.
Oh wow! Just
That's Stone Cold's music?
just an ambience of birds tweeting with fucking the wrestling too.
I just want to hear a wrestling crowd golf clap.
The one guy.
Apparently it's a
"Mashed
thing.
potatoes."
They add in fucking ambience, like actual bird tweeting ambience to golf things. I used to
I'm
think it was
sure.
all legit.
Yeah.
But apparently in one
The big lie.
the big lie.
You see, because in golf, there's the lie. The big lie.
Shut up,
That's the
Tougie.
funniest joke I've ever said on this podcast.
Speaking of golf, PGA Tour 2K23 is a great game. I'm having a lot of fun playing that.
Oh God, I didn't get that one. I probably will sometime soon.
If
I'm
you
sure
do,
it's-
we
it's-
gotta play. And we'll
We
play
do.
on the fucking impossibly difficult Masters course
that
someone
well,
made
dude, so
painstakingly.
when I would play, what was it, 2K21 on stream, I would just download random courses online. That
It's a
were
lot of
just
fun.
Joke courses. Crash Andrews hated it. I fucking loved it.
Oh, I gotta play with Crash then.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
I'm a serious golfer. Golfing is serious business.
Oh God! All right, so Phil Mickelson will buy the WWE. They pipe in crowd noise, much like wrestling companies do, and yeah, god damn, that's so goddamn funny. Just the idea, Jeff Hardy jumps off a ladder, the commentators just monotone. Oh God!
He's slithering like a snake?
And here comes Stone Cold Steve Austin. By God, he has a beer truck with him. He is spraying beer from the hose.
Stunner.
And drenching.
Stunner. Stunner.
By God, Stone Cold has won the WWF Championship.
He's just going absolutely
My
nuts in the
God.
fucking ring. Yeah, I'm the fucking champion. Let's go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Every now and then it gets more exciting when Vern Lundquist is on a cast.
God, you nerd. From AJ, your next question. Never mind. This is now a What If Golf and Wrestling crossed over podcast. The
Jeez.
biggest niche of them all. Holy hell. From AJ, what is one thing that we have each bought? And now the thought is, why the hell did I buy this?
An Xbox Series S.
It's a good question.
Yeah. Oh, what's the one thing I bought? I don't know.
So for me, clear-cut answer as always, even though I don't have it here, it's at my parents', is the Patriots dog. I have recollection to remember the most needless shit. It was the night of the Floyd Mayweather-Canelo Alvarez fight that I was going to watch with a friend of mine, and we went over to Walmart to get some snackage, and I saw a portrait of a bulldog with a Patriots cap on, and I bought that for $22.99. And I have no regrets, but at the same time, why did I buy that? Couldn't help it. Strongest impulse buy I think I've ever had. Did I bide enough time for either of you to think of something?
Honestly, I don't buy too much stuff that I look back on and I don't know. I don't buy much stuff, period. I usually buy stuff that I really need and things like that. Honestly, yeah. I cannot really think of one off the top of my head that I've bought and like, oh, why did I buy this?
That's a good thing, though.
It is, yeah. I mean, I buy a lot of Warhammer shit, but I get great use out of that. Like I play once a week minimum. Sometimes I'll even play by myself if I'm like balancing a campaign I'm GMing, or sometimes just to test my army lists. Yeah,
That's cool.
Beautiful.
Trying to
And
look
there you got
back at
nothing.
things that I have.
Just
I
look around the
regret.
room. That's the way to do it.
I'm trying to think. I have nothing. Oh, I think I got it. So, I have a collectible plush by a creator named Schlatt, SCHLATT. I realized the value of it is definitely skyrocketed, but I opened it out of the package.
Mhm.
I was like, I'll just have it, whatever. I'll just be fine. And then I opened it and I realized the value because he's not selling that specific one anymore. It's called a Rammy, and he's not selling it anymore, so the value of it dropped. Value of it went up, and my value of it dropped completely.
Stonks.
Yeah,
Our final question.
welcome to the bear market.
yeah, or the plush market in this case.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Our final question.
Shut the fuck up. Let me have a joke, okay? You see, lie, because the.
Yeah, that was funny, though.
Shut up.
Yeah, if
It
it was like a
was.
stuffed bear, then it would have been good. It would have been
It's
like a play
it's a
on
literal
double
ram.
entendre.
I can show you. It's a literal ram.
A Ryerson Ram. We're
We
not
got
allowed to
rid of
say that
those.
college name anymore, are we?
Yeah. The Timu. What the fuck are they now? I can't remember. But it's some stupid bullshit.
Who's to say? From RG Dust, final question. Your body won't live on blood anymore. This is a very interesting way to start this off. Your body won't live on blood anymore, so you have to choose a different liquid to survive on. It could be a soft drink, a juice, or even nacho cheese. Is nacho cheese a liquid? If so, what liquid are you choosing to survive on?
Oh man.
So
What?
basically,
Jesus.
instead of blood pumping through your veins, what pumps through your veins?
Do we feel it? Because like I don't know if I want a soft drink if it's gonna be tingly all day.
Right?
Just throughout my entire body. This is bizarre.
Tougies is
yeah.
Arnold Palmer for sure.
What?
For sure, Arnold Palmer. You can't drink it anymore, so you have to feel it.
Well, see, my thought was to take this incredibly seriously by thinking, like, okay, if I am in need of a transfusion, what is easy to acquire?
Water.
That was kind of the thought, yeah.
Yeah. Or just
Yeah.
milk.
This
So
is
that's-
weird.
That's the serious answer.
Yeah.
Is there a joke answer?
Nestea.
Okay. Does this still count as water if I say specifically the tiers of people who get upset when I rate their favorite player lower than what they think it should be in NHL?
Just
no,
Daigle.
go for it. Do it.
Just
That's
Daigle
you.
that one time.
Okay. Because that sustains me already. That gives me life. So, like, let's just make it official, right? That's my answer.
That's a good answer. Good answer. Good answer.
Maybe the weirdest question we've ever had on this podcast, and there have been some weird ones.
Yeah, I don't I don't get it. It's the same thing as having blood no matter what the fucking liquid is. It doesn't do anything. It just sustains you. So anything, like literally anything. Literally any liquid.
Yes.
Yeah.
Comedy.
What the fuck?
Riveting.
I don't know, man. Viewer questions were a bit
You guys
scarce
suck.
this time out.
Where's Piney? We need more Piney questions.
We do. People have been asking to get him on for a full show of just asking questions, and you know what? It might have to be done.
Mm-hmm.
It might just have to be.
All-Star break.
Yeah, there you go, right? When we'll have nothing to talk about. So see, okay, that was kind of a big thing, right? Is at this point, as we kind of move on to like the more general topics, All-Star voting is like the only thing to talk about right now. But who the hell wants to talk about it? Like I made a video because I figured it was better set up for that type of situation than anything else. But right now, it's like the conversation of, okay, the All-Star game. Do we like that every team gets at least one player? I know I don't. Because in going through who was automatically nominated, who wasn't, you get to look at a team like Dallas where it's like, oh, cool, they're going to get probably 2 guys at most.
Yeah, some teams shouldn't have any.
Right.
Like there's probably a couple of years ago, the Sharks should have had no one, and I think we just sent Hurdle because he was the only one worth a damn. This year, clearly Erik Karlsson belongs on the fucking team. Maybe even Timo Meier you can make an argument for, just because they're both having stellar seasons. But yeah, like who the fuck goes on Columbus? They're so bad.
So it was Johnny Gaudreau who got the vote for Columbus, and that was the right call. He is the only guy that even has a legitimate argument behind him going to the All-Star game this year. Yeah, there are some teams like Dallas where, like, okay, Jason Robertson was their guy, but you can look at, really a couple of different players for the Dallas Stars, as I pointed out in this video. Miro Heiskanen, Jake Ottinger. The Winnipeg Jets are the same way. Josh Morrissey, still over point per game as a defender, is in. Whereas Kyle Connor, Pierre-Luc Dubois, they're both over a point per game. Connor Hellebuck is probably top 3 Vezina conversation right now. And, Hellebuck might get the goalie vote because the fan voting option, it basically gives you 2 skaters and a goalie that fans can vote in. It's just, it's weird. And I just don't know, like, how much of a conversation there really can be to kind of drag out about, the All-Star format, because I don't know, again, like the basic idea. Do you think every team should get an All-Star? Sin already said no. I say no. I presume Endo's the same way. Or maybe Endo's one of the people who's just like, oh, fucking cares, the All-Star game. I don't want to talk about it at all.
Yeah, I talked about it on stream today, and I was just kind of like, yeah, the whole All-Star game like effect has kind of like died down a lot over the past few years. I think them switching to a 3-on-3 format has really bored a lot of people. 3-on-3 is like, oh, it's faster pace, it's more ice time. It's like, yeah, but like it's not really as cool. It's like,
I like it better than the 5-on-5, to be honest.
My issue too, I'm okay with 3-on-3. My issue too is like, okay, Crosby and Ovechkin were both voted in. Are either of them going to go?
Nope.
So then what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're trying to save themselves and prepare for the playoffs and stuff, which makes sense at their stages in their careers and whatnot.
It does. Granted, they've done that for a long time.
Have they?
It's just one of those things where it's like discussing the All-Star game. Like this is what we got, because like Endo kind of said, like, how long has it been since people have actually cared about the All-Star game? Like last year's event in Vegas, I don't remember a damn thing about the actual game itself. I remember Machine Gun Kelly performed, and it was funny because Deke Slayer tweeted, "Who the fuck is this?" And I remember like the skills competition, they had that horrific segment where they were out in like the Bellagio fountain.
Oh my god!
The rules of the event didn't make sense. It was kind of like the St. Louis All-Star, where it was the further you shot, the less points you got, instead of the closer targets being worth less. Like, I can't remember the last time I was super excited. I guess John Scott, right? Just because of the meme, and it looked like they were going to take it away from us.
Yeah.
But, again, in terms like, oh, who makes the All-Star game? Who doesn't? Should the NHL have made this guy an automatic option? Like, there's only so much of a conversation you can have around it at this stage. And I was debating, like, oh shit, do we talk about it? Do I go team by team with you guys and say, okay, Anaheim's selection was Troy Terry. Agree or disagree? And the correct answer is yes, Troy Terry. If not, give it to Trevor Zegras just so he can be in the skills competition and do crazy stuff that'll go viral again. But it's about where it begins and ends. I'm not too worried. about the All-Star break. I'm not. Arizona, should Clayton Keller have been the picks in?
Fucking, I don't know, man.
The way that started, I knew it was
It's
gonna be
Arizona. You know what? Mullet Arena should have been the pick.
Ooh, All-Star game at Mullet Arena. I'm here for it.
I mean, that would be great because then you'd actually have a full fucking stands.
Ooh, shots fired.
Well, I'm just saying, when's the last time there were full stands at the All-Star game? Like, it's pretty sparse.
Oh, I thought you were talking Arizona.
in general. Wow.
Well, no, like, yeah, if you packed it into Arizona, like, they would actually have a full crowd. I'm pretty sure they're getting close to full every time they play at Mullet, which is nice, but...
On Hockey Reference, listed Arizona Coyotes averaging through 14 home games, 100% capacity.
That's great. Awesome. That's awesome, you know? Like, yeah.
You would fucking hope so with 4,600 seats, but they are doing it.
Yeah. And, like, you know, that'd be great to see an All-Star game in kind of a smaller building. The atmosphere would be better than it is every time they play it in a normal arena where they're just simply not even close to capacity. At least I'm pretty sure, unless I'm missing something. Like, but every time I've seen, like, some footage of the All-Star game, it's like Florida in the mid-2000s.
I mean, you could say Florida in the right now. They're bottom 4 in terms of attendance.
Yeah, okay, then Florida in the right now. But it used to be worse. I remember even in one NHL game, they used to reflect that in the amount of fucking fans in their crowds. It was so dirty. Like, they're the only... Like, could have been anyone, but, like, it was only Florida. When you played in, like, the Florida building, the stands were just, like, half empty. But every other arena just had generic-ass filled seats. It's amazing.
Just taking shots at the Florida Panthers. A tale as old as time for the hockey world. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, All-Star wise, I put out a video about it, kind of going over each team, my picks, who I thought should have made it. I just, like, I don't know. Like, is it right to put you guys on the spot and be like, okay, let's show everyone what you know about the New York Islanders this year, guys. Who do you think?
Yeah, I just don't care enough. I'll just look up numbers. Like, okay, he has good stats.
Matthew Barzal. Right. Yay. He's a name.
Well, he is too. And he wasn't automatically selected. It was Brock Nelson for the New York Islanders.
Fuck you.
Speaking of stats, though, one of the few things we have to talk about, Anze Kopitar hit 1,100 points. He's a member of the LA Kings, future Hall of Famer. And is he the sole survivor? He, like, kind of like the big California teams when the California road trip was viewed as a death sentence.
Kopitar, Doughty.
Yeah,
if you're talking about just the Kings, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, like, who's left for the Sharks when
Couture,
it was viewed
Vlasic.
that way? Yeah, that's fair. Well, Vlasic. And that's like for the Ducks, like that era.
Don't you take away from my boy's prime? He was like one of the best shutdown D-men in the NHL for a while.
Yeah, and I was still in high school.
No. He shut down McDavid. So you weren't in high school.
Okay, fine.
There you
shut down a
Him and
19-year-old Connor McDavid.
He and Braun shut down McDavid. Yes. that was the last kind of hurrah for Pickles.
Oh God. You know, I have to look up the Marc-Edouard Vlasic J Fresh card. And he's actually been good this year. Wow. His chart over the last 3 years is a V.
Yeah.
Damn. Like
he's
Vlasic.
been pretty good this year.
His V for Vlasic. Good one, Endo.
Yeah.
Does he wear a mask like Antonio Banderas? We have a thumbnail.
Just a Zorro Vlasic, man.
We have a thumbnail and an episode title. Thank you very much.
Or he put
Edward Vlasic.
The Guy Fawkes mask on him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Jesus.
Holy shit.
So shout out to Anze Kopitar, even though somehow we waxed poetic about Marc-Edouard Vlasic instead.
Well,
Yeah,
you
people
brought
forget
up
about
the
Kopitar.
California Gauntlet.
I did.
I don't think anyone's left from Anaheim. Maybe you could say Gibson and Fowler. Like, that's it.
Cam Fowler noted most games on the Ducks at the moment.
I know. That's probably the only reason I remembered him now. I would have just said Gibson if we hadn't done that last episode.
Phenomenal. The Vancouver Canucks have set the record for the most multi-goal leads blown through the first 40 games of a season. They've done it 8 times.
Sweet.
Oh, it's great. Oh man.
They have been probably the team that's been the most consistent topic of conversation this season, right?
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for them to get good for years, and they're simply regressing at this point.
So right now, if NHL.com will load for me, it is worth noting that the Vancouver Canucks, who again we talked about recently, do you buy, do you sell, what do you do? The Canucks right now, holy shit, NHL's website is breaking. There we go. The Canucks are currently on 37 points through 40 games, 10 points back of second place wild card Edmonton, although the Canucks do have 3 games at hand.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
They need to get better so they stay out of the Bedard race.
That they do. Unfortunately, apparently they are going to aim to be a little bit better. Well, first and foremost, Tanner Pearson has been confirmed he won't play this season. He had a setback with a hand injury and has had a second surgery, so that sucks. But a TSN headline today was Boudreaux could make Oliver Ekman-Larsson a healthy scratch against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
The fact that a conversation is occurring as to whether or not it is best for the team to scratch Oliver Ekman-Larsson, whether it be to poor play, effort issues. Like I know I saw responses mention that like Anthony Mantha was put on the 4th line, if not outright scratched in Washington, and he admitted that his effort wasn't where it needed to be. The fact that Oliver Ekman-Larsson is shaping up to be a healthy scratch for Vancouver with a contract that lasts 4 more years with an $825 million cap hit after this season.
Wait, that's OEL? Well, I still don't understand the trade.
With a no movement clause as well.
Can't even bury him. Amazing.
Can't even bury him.
Amazing.
How much do the Canucks give up to get a team like Arizona to take him back?
They can't.
No.
Because they've said they have to essentially draft heavy again. They can't do it. They've that one trade completely fucked them. It was the most bizarre thing that I've ever seen. They gave up 3 expiring contracts to take on a big one with term. It made no sense then, and it makes even less sense now.
The idea was we free up cap space. They got rid of $12 million worth of contracts, so they did free up cap space to re-sign somebody. I think it was Pedersen. But that
still.
trade was Antoine Roussel, Jay Beagle, and Louis Eriksson. None of them are currently in the NHL. Obviously, they were let go. A 2021 first rounder that became Dylan Guenther.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. It's regret.
A second round pick that became Hunter Height, who as actually was selected by Minnesota, so there was another trade there.
Mm-hmm.
And a 7th round pick this year for Oliver Ekman-Larsson and the signing rights to Connor Garland, which means you freed up $12 million in space for 7.26 of Oliver Ekman-Larsson. The retained salary is factored in. And Connor Garland, who you then ended up signing to about a $5 million deal. So basically, you spent money on the deal because you had to sign Connor Garland. Poor Vancouver fans.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Brutal.
I'm sorry. One of these days, we might get to talk about you in a bit more of a positive light. Today,
But it is not this day.
will not be that day.
And until then, let's raise the cup on the ice, baby.
Kevin BX
Woo!
getting that practice in all the time. Oh, God. So aside from all of that, pretty much the big talking point in the hockey world over the past couple of days has been a 14-year-old girl who has gone viral thanks to scoring a Michigan goal against Sweden in the women's under-18 World Championships. Nella Lapusanova, who is currently, again, playing in the under-18 World. She has 7 points in 2 games. She is playing in Slovakia's under-16 Boys League, leading her team with 31 points in 10 games.
Jesus.
And she has 25 points in 6 games in Slovakia's top women's league, which, yes, has very drastic age differences, just simply because of the amount of players available. It's funny, somebody pointed out that Tomáš Jurko's sister is apparently the Wayne Gretzky of the Slovakian Women's League. She played 18 games and had 140 points in 2016-17.
Holy shit.
What?
Yeah, so shout out to Tomáš Jurko's sister, the
What's her
greatest women's player of all time. I'm looking up her name right now. Petra Jurkova.
Is she not
Petra
active as a
Jurkova.
player anymore?
She is 35 years old, has not played since 2021. But in the Slovakian Women's League, she had 769 points in 181 games. She averaged 4.25 points per game.
That's amazing.
What? Did this girl not play national team time? They don't have a Slovakian. They do have a team.
Well,
Good
see,
on you, Petra.
This is the frustration, right? Who knows what Petra Jurkova could have been if there was a more organized women's league.
Yep.
And now, with Nella Lapusanova, you have the same conversations about, okay, here is a 14-year-old girl. She'll turn 15 next month. She's doing very well against other women significantly older than her. She's doing well against the men, the boys in the fucking leagues as well. Like, just the idea of, for the love of God, it's the only thing we've been able to circle back to in regards to the women's game. Can you please have a structured league in time for when this person is ready to go as a professional hockey player? Because right now, her best option appears to be, hopefully she plays for an NCAA team in the U.S., and maybe can help kind of bolster the profile of Slovakian women's hockey. But it's just that idea of, can we just get all of the best women into one damn league to raise the profile of that league as much as possible? Because we're already getting to the point, you're talking about someone here that's a part of that, like, next generation. We're already talking about the Hillary Knights and the Marie-Philippe Poulins of the world not being a part of that generation of, they had this league to play in and dominate and become legends of the league. They're already being transitioned into the Haley Wickenheiser conversation of, man, what if there was just that one league for them to play in to really raise the profile of that league?
Yeah.
And that's very, very frustrating. It's really the only conversation to come back to at this stage. So I can only hope, for this girl's sake, that, by the time, she is an adult and ready to play in a professional league, if she chooses to even do that, one presumes she would, that we get to that point where she can be the star of a league with the best women's players in the world around her, and presumably her being one of them as well. I wish there was more to talk about in the women's game other than frustration over the continued lack of organization.
Yeah, we could also talk about how the PWHPA had an all-star game after only playing 6 regular games in the season, which to me is hysterical.
How long is the season?
They had the way their season works is they had something called the secret dream tour. So they basically go around to different cities and play their games.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's 15, 18 games, 20 games. It's something ridiculous.
Season, that's it?
Yeah, because they don't have a lot of funding, right? So that's why when people weren't getting their shit together with the agreement with the PHF, PWHPA, it was better. Notice how a lot of NHL teams, a lot of affiliations are with the PHF and not the PWHPA, which is really ironic because the PWHPA used to be the CWHL, which is the Canadian Women's Hockey League, which also had ties to China of all things with the ZHC like Senjing team, whatever it was called, and they had their stuff prepared because the women's were trying to prepare themselves for the Olympics with Beijing, and like it's insane how a team went from we have NHL affiliations, a league went from we're affiliated with the NHL to we just had to buy out everything, get bailed out by like the Toronto Maple Leafs and Calgary Flames. And then now we have to start up from basically nothing again. And everyone's moved over to the PHF instead, which is when you really dive into this stuff, it's absolutely insane, but it makes sense as to why the PWHPA isn't going anywhere. And the PHF like just recently announced like a few months ago that they're going to be like doubling their salary cap for players, which is insane. Like every team's going to have like, I think over like $1 million to give their players. Granted, it's not like anything crazy amount to like write home about, but in terms of like the women's game and actually being paid and sustainably paid, it's awesome. Because the same season that they tried to pay out players in the CWHL, they folded like immediately right after. I think it was right after they gave out the Kelly Cup, which was the finals. And I think it was the Markham Storm won, and they had to fold the league because they were that much in debt. Yeah. But a 14-year-old did the Michigan, which is great. And honestly, it's great for the sport. First one to do it in double IHF, too.
Historic. First time in Vegas Golden Knights history. There you go. For a meme that Sin had never somehow heard before in his life, despite it being the number one way people choose to dunk on the Vegas Golden Knights. Never forget. With that, everybody, I think we are going to wind things down for this week. Again, not a ton to talk about, which is why you get random tangents about Live Golf and Marc-Edouard Vlasic, but we found our way to the promised land regardless. We will be back next week, again, hopefully with a little bit more event-heavy weekend. Endo Mills, how many hut packs you opening?
I opened like 8. I opened like 8 on stream, and I got nothing. Maybe like a 84 Lucas Raymond, and like Ilya Sorokin was 84, and I'm only getting 84s because it's great. That's how the game is. You can find me on twitch.tv/EndoMills. Absolutely wanting to put a bullet in my mouth because of how bad NHL 23 is. Yeah. Not gonna get any better anytime soon, so I might as well just fucking tough it out.
Have you considered getting good?
Have you considered don't? I'm fairly good at the game.
Are you?
Yeah. My mom's isn't special, so
You're not bad.
I don't know. I've never seen you play 1v1.
1v1?
You would have been able to see that last month on stream where I kicked the ever-loving shit out of him in old
That's
Huts.
not fair, you fucking sweat. You're like a 93 team, and I had an 80 Ovechkin. I didn't know they fucking made that. I didn't know they fucking NHL awards 80 Ovechkin. They're like, hey, here's an Ovi. Go fucking play with your Duplo blocks, you fucking loser. Like
80 overall Ovechkin, aka 12-year-old Ovechkin.
Yeah. 8-year-old Connor Bedard equivalent.
God. Hey, he's like an 80 now off of EA's most recent roster update.
Is he? How boosted is his...
They put out an update today, their first in over a month.
Wow. Great work back there in EA with fucking cobwebs growing over there because they're not really doing much. Jesus Christ. I can go off on
the holidays, guys. The holidays.
Bro, you've been back. What are you celebrating fucking regular holidays up until the Orthodox holidays? Jesus Christ. Like
we got Hanukkah to Chinese New Year off.
You get until Orthodox Christmas. Fuck it.
Oh my God.
Jesus
was actually born in March, so I'll see you then. Holy shit. Sin, Sports Gamer, Warhammer, YouTube. Did I cover it?
Yeah, there you go.
Didn't miss anything?
No.
Perfect.
I'm a pretty boring guy. Except I'm not.
It's exciting.
I'm amazing.
Yeah, that's right.
I disagree. Majestic. With that, everybody, we will see you next week. Thank you for listening to one of the most bizarre podcasts you will ever see or listen to on this particular feed. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, America.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to get that reference.
You're wasting your time.
You chose us as your co-partners.
All the candy.